Hey Philly faithful, welcome to the show. Your Birds are 2-0 to start the year and all is well. Yeah, nah. I don't think I've ever seen a more polarizing team on the Philly scene. The Birds are defending Super Bowl champions, undefeated through weeks 1 and 2, and are 19-1 over the last 20 games. But the consternation is palpable, not only here locally in Philly, but nationally as well. It's time for my breakdown. I understand the expectations for this team, and with a young defense and a loaded offense, 216 yards of total offense looks awfully inefficient. But there are 0 pitches for what or how a win should look. And the Eagles took down their most hated rival and walked into the backyard of the team they just defeated in Super Bowl 59 7 months ago and sauntered off with back-to-back wins. The narrative that this team looks eerily similar to the 2023 Birds coming off Super Bowl 57 loss is so unfounded. This 2025 Eagles team is still finding its way. But on offense, experience says no way that this team falters ever again like that 2023 team. Defensively, they got it done with smoke and mirrors through the first 10 weeks. And now with Vic Fangio at the helm, in no way does this team resemble what Sean Desai and Matt Patricia put out there on the field. This defense is massively talented and is getting progressively better each and every week. Kevin Patullo may have some evolving to do, as we should expect, but the moxie of Jalen Hurts and this offense will not falter with the opportunities that are before them. I know that I may sound positively optimistic, but I look at a head coach in Nick Sirianni, his staff, and the players who turned the narrative around after 4 weeks of doubt last year and transformed it into a glorious day and time for the great city of brotherly love. So keep the faith. Now, on to the game. It was neither dominant nor looked how either team may have wanted to look, but no doubt the Chiefs would rather be in the Eagles' shoes at 2-0 rather than 0-2. And Jalen and the offense found a way to get the job done. Early in the season, through the first 4 weeks, that's the best that any team in the National Football League is hoping for. Sirianni and Patullo will figure it out. They've got too much to work with not to. The offense has made the plays necessary at the necessary moments to win games, period. Defensively, as a fan base, you've got to be encouraged with how this young defense has comported itself over the early going. They pressured Mahomes, forced errant passes, tackled well, created turnovers, and flipped the game, and made key stops at key moments when they had to. Fangio was masterful in early blitzing, then backing off late and keeping Reed and Mahomes off balance long enough to secure the win. It doesn't matter what it looks like as long as you get the win, if that's the main thing. Jake Elliott and Brandon Mann were flawless to round out the winning performance of all 3 phases of the game. As a fan, we should sit back and enjoy this ride, allowing the development and evolution of this team to take place, and save the worry, criticism, and doubts for if things do go wrong. After all, worry never solved a thing in its essence. At the other end of the spectrum, they may flip the script and explode, providing a dominant defense like most of us expect. Or they may journey through 2025 much like 24, finding ways to win enough games to get back to the promised land once again in an unconventional manner that still makes its fan base a bit nervous, yet proud. Only time will tell. That's my breakdown. After this break, WIP in-game sideline reporter Devin Kaney joins me with thoughts from KC and the upcoming matchup versus the LA Rams in Week 3.
I know what you're thinking. Total glow up. What's her secret? Fine, I'll spill. I totally upgraded with Verizon. Everyone gets a free phone with any plan, even if you're already a customer, like me. Now I have Google Gemini. It's like a little glam squad in my pocket. Gemini, what eye makeup goes with this lipstick?
I'd suggest a classic cat eye.
Wow, setting the bar high for daycare pickup. Get in on this.
If you understand that success is built on trusted relationships and dependable performance, Mid-Penn Bank is the right bank for you. We're on a mission to prove that the right bankers can make a big difference. We work harder, we get things done, and we're in your corner. With financial centers strategically located throughout the greater Philadelphia region and new locations in central New Jersey, we're ready to bring you the best in commercial and personal banking. Call or visit us today to connect with a professional mid-pen banker. Member FDIC. Go Eagles!
At Revolution X, we know that fortunes are made in times of uncertainty. Are you selling your investment real estate? Are you interested in deferring your tax with a 1031 exchange? At RevX, we're experts in 1031 exchange planning and the use of passive real estate options using DSTs. Not in the midst of an exchange and want to invest in real estate but don't know where to start? Revolution X has institutional-grade real estate options for any size investor right now. Set up a consultation at RevXWealth.com. RevX, defer the tax, maximize the gain.
Gentlemen, are you ready for a wardrobe update? Introducing Divine 9's Custom Menswear, your clothier for truly unique, custom-made threads. With Divine 9, you can design your own one-of-a-kind suit, jacket, slacks, shirts, golf pants, and shorts, perfectly handcrafted by our skilled artisans who will bring your vision to life. Prepare to stand out from the crowd with Divine 9's Custom Clothier, official clothier of Seth Joyner. Custom clothing made for you.
Since 1893, Weber Display and Packaging has been Pennsylvania's leading manufacturer of corrugated packaging and displays. We're family-owned with 4 Philadelphia locations, 2 converting facilities, a warehouse, and a fulfillment center. Designed through delivery, we exceed customer needs. Weber Display and Packaging, our core values drive everything we do. Come join our team. This segment is brought to you by Verizon Communications. Welcome back. WIP's sideline reporter Devin Kaney was in KC last week, and she can shed some light on the environment during last week's win over the Chiefs. Devin, do you share the consternation of the fan base and some of the media?
Seth, as you know, like the first 4 weeks really of the NFL regular season have become the new preseason, right? Like you're not going to see clean football. You look across the league, look at the slate of games that we saw throughout the first 2 weeks. There isn't really anything that's pretty to watch. So I think that you do have to give the Eagles offense a break in that sense. That being said, I mean, when you have 2 of the best receivers in the league, they need to be a bigger part of this offense. My concern is, you know, when you watch back the tape, when you watch these plays, they're just not open. Like A.J. Brown is not open, and he hasn't been through 2 games. And yes, you can credit Spagnuolo. You can credit the Dallas backfield defensively, but that only lasts until a certain point. And I think that we're reaching that breaking point as a fan base and as media where you start to say, like, okay, you know, you can give defense their props for locking a guy like AJ down, but he is one of the best wide receivers in the league. He should be able to find a way to get open, and that tells me that maybe he's not being schemed open. Maybe there's not creativity.
Jalen looked calm and cool and collected last week. You know, during the game, you were there. You could get a sense for if things may potentially become undone. How did he handle last week in the pressure cooker?
You just said it perfectly. I mean, Jalen Hurts is cool as a cucumber, no matter the situation. Seth, I don't know if you remember, there was one specific play where Jalen was brought down really hard. And it was one of the plays where, you know, it was broken up and Jalen was trying to do what he does best and take off. And the Chiefs just came in and took him out. And even I, getting to watch that from the sideline, kind of like jolted back, like, ooh, like you worry he's going to be injured. No problem. Gets up, shakes it off, goes back to the sideline. You know, he's never throwing anything. He's never cursing, never yelling. He just goes back to the sideline, talks with his coaches, talks with his receivers, talks with his O-line. And, you know, you see him communicating a lot with his teammates, which is also a really promising sign. So one thing that Jalen Hurts is great at, he doesn't let any of this really get to him. He's cool, he's calm, he's collected, and I think that is infectious.
You talk about AJ, you know, not being open, and you know it's funny because Tom Brady in the broadcast last week they had a still, and he was like, not open, not open, not open, not open, and I thought that was very telling. Kevin Patullo's under a lot of heat and blame for the lackluster performance of the passing game. The Eagles did it last year. You know, do you see this mode of operation being sustainable? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what it looks like. At least that's what, you know, Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts says, you know, just as long as you win.
I don't think it's sustainable for a multitude of reasons, right? Like you mentioned, Tom Brady pointed out on the broadcast. Something else I've seen pointed out, that these plays, especially the passing plays that are called, are not creative. They're not diverse. You know, I think it was Dan Orlovsky pointed out, Kevin Patullo called like the same exact route for AJ like 10 different times in that game, to a point where by the third quarter, the Chiefs defense knew exactly what was coming. That being said, I remember there were a couple plays, like we're not talking about one in particular in that Chiefs game, where Jalen, you could tell, actively tried to get the ball out really quick, which we know he's struggled with and continues to work on. And it was almost picked off. So he's not turning the ball over. He's not making reckless throws. He's not trying to force anything for the most part. And the few times that we did see him force something, it almost turned out, you know, worst case scenario in an interception and a turnover. So I think that is key when you break down, you know, the offense and the wins, because at the end of the day, the Eagles won, arguably because they won the turnover battle, right? Andrew Makuba got that ball out of Travis Kelce's hands, where it almost was a disastrous turnover for A.J. Brown and Jalen. Didn't work out. So sustainable in that you don't want to turn the ball over, and they're not. So you want to sustain that aspect of it, but not sustainable in that you need to add some creativity. You need to add some different routes in there. You need to add some surprise elements, because these defenses, like the Chiefs defense, started to learn by the third quarter of that game, they're going to know exactly what to expect.
So let's talk a little bit of defense here. You know, they seem to be progressing nicely. Jordan Davis, you know, playing extremely well. Everybody wants to subscribe, I should say, to the fact that Patrick Mahomes was down some key pieces and he had an off day. What's your take of this defense and how they played last week and how they look moving forward?
I thought they looked great. I mean, look, people can give any excuse they want to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. The truth of the matter is the Eagles have beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense twice in the last year, in the last, span of 7 months. I don't think that they're going to be, you know, the defense that we saw, just like the offense isn't going to be the offense that we saw at the end of last season. These guys are still getting their feet under them. That being said, I mean, two guys in particular stand out to me on the defense. They actually both split a sack on Patrick Mahomes in that Chiefs game, and that's Andrew Makuba and Zadarius Smith. So Andrew Makuba, when I was talking to DB's coach, Christian Parker, in the preseason, I'm like, who should we, you know, watch for in these preseason games? And he said, Andrew Makuba, see what this kid has. Because I know he was banged up a bit, you know, throughout training camp. He was in and out, but he's undersized. You know, people had some doubts. We're seeing what this kid can do. I mean, he made the biggest play of the game against the Chiefs, the play that ultimately got the Eagles the win and the reason that they are 2-0. And then Zadarius Smith comes in week one, splits a sack with Andrew Makuba. He told me, you know, these guys are extremely hungry. He's been impressed from what he's seen just a couple days into practice and joining this young crew. And he told me he was brought in really to be a leader, because you look at the guys that they lost Brandon Graham, they lost Josh Sweat, they lost a lot of leadership, especially with the defensive line. We saw what Jalen Carter did, you know, week one. I think they needed some maturity. They needed some leadership. So Zadarius Smith certainly brings that.
Devin, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thanks for your time and your insights.
Thank you, Seth.
All righty, up next, Brad Feinberg, my fantasy and betting handicapper, checks in for week 3.
There's a number on the screen.
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 There is a number on the screen.
There's a number on the screen.
There's a number on the screen. There's a number on the screen.
Pride, passion, and persistence. These are the values that drive us all at Ron Jaworski Golf. we strive to deliver outstanding conditions as well as playability for golfers of all ages and abilities. Our championship golf courses offer a variety of challenges, from a link-style walk along the river to an escape into the pines and everything in between. My team at Ron Jaworski Golf is committed to delivering memorable experiences every single day. See all we do at ronjaworskigolf.com.
Since 1893, Weber Display and Packaging has been Pennsylvania's leading manufacturer of corrugated packaging and displays. We're family owned with 4 Philadelphia locations, 2 converting facilities, a warehouse, and a fulfillment center. Designed through delivery, we exceed customer needs. Weber Display and Packaging. Our core values drive everything we do. Come join our team.
I know what you're thinking. Total glow up. What's her secret? Fine, I'll spill. I totally upgraded with Verizon. Everyone gets a free phone with any plan, even if you're already a customer, like me. Now I have Google Gemini. It's like a little glam squad in my pocket. Gemini, what eye makeup goes with this lipstick?
I'd suggest a classic cat eye.
Wow, setting the bar high for daycare pickup. Get in on this.
If you understand that success is built on trusted relationships and dependable performance, Mid-Penn Bank is the right bank for you. We're on a mission to prove that the right bankers can make a big difference. We work harder, we get things done, and we're in your corner. With financial centers strategically located throughout the greater Philadelphia region and new locations in central New Jersey, we're ready to bring you the best in commercial and personal banking. Call or visit us today to connect with a professional Mid-Penn banker. Member FDIC. Go Eagles!
This segment is brought to you by Recovery Unplugged. Welcome back. Brad Feinberg joins us now to get us ready for this week's slate of games. Give Brad a follow at Brad's Best Bet on X. Brad, it was a week chock full of injuries, points, and a few surprises.
No question about it. I mean, God, Cincinnati Bengals, Seth, their season is over. Eagles-Chiefs game, Seth, kind of thought it would be that kind of game, low scoring. You knew the Chiefs were going to fight. Like to see Jalen Hurts, interesting stat set, 2 passes all year that have traveled 10 yards to incomplete. But you know what? What that guy does is he just wins. Eagles do it a different way than others teams. That's why I respect them so much. Good start for the Birds, 2-0, plus Washington, Jaden Daniels no injured. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so far a good, interesting start to the NFL season for sure.
No doubt about it. So let's get started on the games this week. Give me your top 4 matchups for week 3.
Well, Seth, I just said all these nice things about Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, but you know what? Seth, I'm going to fade them here. There's been a lot of sharp money, and I've betted it myself as well on taking the Rams. You can get 3.5. As long as it's over 3, it's worth a bet. I predict this line, Seth, is in the close at 3. Look, to me, I think the Rams have the best defense the Eagles have faced. It's going to be a very close game, very, very close game that comes down to the way end, kind of like the Cowboys-Eagles game. So if I'm getting 3.5 points in a 50-50 game, sign me up. Next, Seth, look, this team's been awful, the Tennessee Titans, but you know what? At home, getting, again, key is over a field goal against an Indianapolis team that's won 2 straight games. They were supposed to lose. I'm not going to say they're going to be fat and happy, but I think it's a good spot for the Titans to keep this game close, and actually calling for the outright upside. Give me Tennessee plus the 3.5. Next, Seth, Seattle. I actually like what I've seen out of them. They really could have beaten the 49ers easily in week 1, dominate Pittsburgh last week, facing a Saints team that's now on the road for the first time. Line's only 7. I think this line should be closer to 10. Give me Seattle to win in a rout over the New Orleans Saints. And last, Seth, look, on Monday night, we saw the Chargers. I'm very impressed with this team, Seth. Very impressed. I think there's a chance this could be the best version of the Chargers team we've seen in the last, I don't even know, since they had in the Super Bowl last time. I like them laying 2.5 at home against a solid Denver team, but I think this line should be at least 3.
All righty, let's jump over on the fantasy side of things. Who are you fading this week?
Well, Seth, quarterback-wise, look, Green Bay's amazing, right? They're terrific, but they're actually playing a pretty tough defense in the Cleveland Browns. Jordan Love is the 3rd most expensive quarterback. Really good player, but this, to me, not the week to jump on the Jordan Love train against, outdoors against Cleveland. I'm going to fade him. Next, James Conner, been a really nice career, Seth, but, last 2 weeks, he's basically been in a timeshare with Trey Benson, still being priced in the top 8 for running backs. To me, that's too pricey for a guy who's not getting that many carries. I'm going to fade him. Wide receiver wise, I hate to do it, Seth, but I need to see that he's healthy. A.J. Brown still being priced in the top 10. I think that hamstring's probably still bothering him. I know you get amazing intel. You probably know better than that than me for sure. But I just cannot pay up for A.J. Brown until I see like him have a good game. And defensively, Seth, the Vikings are the third most expensive defense. But you know what? The quarterback, Jake Browning for the Bengals, he's not god awful. They still have T. Higgins. They still have Jamar Chase, Chase Brown. I'm going to avoid the Vikings being the third most expensive defense. Guys, I like this week, Seth, include quarterback. Our old friend, Seth, Carson Wentz. Why? He is the cheapest quarterback by a zillion. The reason for that, Seth, is when these numbers come out, they didn't know J.J. McCarthy was out. So he's far below any other quarterback in the world. Like, he's drastically low. Even if you don't like Carson Wentz, Eagles fans, for the price he's at this week, you kind of have no choice but to play him. It'll let you get other great players. And you know what? Against the Bengals' bad defense, I think he's actually an upgrade over J.J. McCarthy. Running back-wise, Tony Pollard said 38 carries. 38 carries in 2 games. The fact he's not one of the top 20 most expensive running backs, that's insane. Give me Tony Pollard. Wide receiver, Seth, I'm going to go with Rome Odunze. 13 catches in 2 games. And Seth, he's being priced outside the top 30 against a very mediocre, to me, Dallas Cowboys defense. I think that merits a play. And then last, Seth, the Rams. Look, fourth cheapest defense. Going against an Eagles team, so I think we'd all agree, has not looked great, offensively at least. Give me the Rams.
All right, my friend. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. I'll check in with you next week.
You're the best. Appreciate you, Seth. Good luck, everyone out there.
All right. After this pause, I'll share my thoughts and predictions for the upcoming game as the Rams come to town for a divisional rematch of last year's playoffs. Since 1893, Weber Display and Packaging has been Pennsylvania's leading manufacturer of corrugated packaging and displays. We're family-owned with 4 Philadelphia locations, 2 converting facilities, a warehouse, and a fulfillment center. Designed through delivery, we exceed customer needs. Weber Display and Packaging. Our core values drive everything we do. Come join our team.
Gentlemen, are you ready for a wardrobe update? Introducing Divine 9's Custom Menswear, your clothier for truly unique, custom-made threads. With Divine 9, you can design your own one-of-a-kind suit, jacket, slacks, shirts, golf pants, and shorts, perfectly handcrafted by our skilled artisans who will bring your vision to life. Prepare to stand out from the crowd with Divine 9's Custom Clothier, official clothier of Seth Joyner. Custom clothing made for you.
I know what you're thinking. Total glow up. What's her secret? Fine, I'll spill. I totally upgraded with Verizon. Everyone gets a free phone with any plan, even if you're already a customer, like me. Now I have Google Gemini. It's like a little glam squad in my pocket. Gemini, what eye makeup goes with this lipstick?
I'd suggest a classic cat eye.
Wow, setting the bar high for daycare pickup. Get in on this.
There's a number on the screen.
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 There's a number on the screen. There's a number on the screen.
There is a number on the screen.
There's a number on the screen.
There's a number on the screen. There's a number on the screen.
At Revolution X, we know that fortunes are made in times of uncertainty. Are you selling your investment real estate? Are you interested in deferring your tax with a 1031 exchange? At RevX, we're experts in 1031 exchange planning and the use of passive real estate options using DSTs. Not in the midst of an exchange and want to invest in real estate but don't know where to start? Revolution X has institutional grade real estate options for any size investor right now. Set up a consultation at RevXWealth.com. RevX, defer the tax, maximize the gain.
This segment is brought to you by Weber Display and Packaging. Welcome back. The NFL did the Eagles no favors with this schedule. Another team the Birds faced in the regular season and the playoffs are up next with double revenge on their minds after the Birds defeated them twice last year. The 2-0 Rams have improved their roster and look to move to 3-0 on Sunday. While the coaches and players focus on the task at hand, they've had to deal with the constant bombardment of questions about why the offense has been so anemic. Over 2 games, the Eagles' offense is averaging 119 yards passing per game, 139 yards per game on the ground, and 22 points per game. The passing game, much like last year, is nowhere near what they want it to be. You have to give their opponents some credit for adjusting and making a concerted effort to limit Saquon in the run game while trying to force Jalen to pass. Kevin Patullo seems content for the moment to operate as business as usual, and it's working because they're winning. If you look a bit more closely, they're playing complementary football. The offense hasn't turned the ball over through 2 games, while the defense has created 2 turnovers, 1 forced fumble that they recovered, and an interception, 1 by Campbell, 1 by Makuba. The offense is converting third downs when needed and capitalizing at critical junctures of the game, which is winning football. In like manner, while the defense has given up some plays, they've also gotten critical stops at crucial moments that have contributed to winning football as well. And Jake Elliott is 100%. His field goals of 58, 58, and 51 yards have been huge in 2 closely contested games. The biggest surprise has been the defense, though. Many thought that the offense would need to carry the defense over the first few games, but defensive coordinator Vic Fangio has cautiously brought this young unit along, and they've responded in a major way. It looks like the Birds have hit another home run on draft picks Jahad Campbell and Andrew Makuba. Both have held their own under the pressure of 2 tightly contested weeks. The elevated play of Jordan Davis is definitely worth mentioning, and the addition of Zadarius Smith paid dividends right out the gate. Vic has this group gelling nicely, and the more they play together, the more comfortable and more confident they'll become. I'm not worried the least bit about the offense. They'll find their footing and their identity, and paired with the week-to-week growth of the defense and consistency of Elliott, this team will continue to meet the challenge before them game by game. Next up, the LA Rams. They've improved an already impressive roster with the addition of Devontae Adams to pair with Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams at running back, and star quarterback Matt Stafford. The Eagles' D will face their toughest challenge on Sunday afternoon. Add in an already ascending defense that's hoping to find a way to contain Saquon Barkley after he destroyed them twice last year, and this should be the greatest barometer for where this team is and where it needs to be. That being said, I still like the Birds roster significantly more than the Rams. As they have over the first 2 weeks, they will continue to find a way to get the job done. It should be a hotly contested back-and-forth offensive battle, but give me the Birds 28-31 on a late Jake Elliott 50-yard-plus field goal as the Birds move to 3-0. That's the show for tonight. Tune in next week as we look back on the Rams game and look ahead to the Birds' NFC nemesis, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in South Florida in Week 4. Good night, Philly, and go Birds.